you are doing what you're doing. You creatives, that was phenomenal just now. I hope you appreciate the kind of intellectual capital that you need to have in order not to just recite what you've just recited, but express it in the manner that you've expressed it. Please don't underestimate just the power that resides within you. It's quite phenomenal. I mean, I'm sitting there in awe of just the abilities that you have, but more importantly, the abilities that we have as a country. You know, one of the things I've been saying is that when I watch particularly music and the dancing that we have, particularly starting from Kwaito to hip hop to Amapiano, I can unreservedly tell you that it is the greatest talent that we have in the world.
Yes.
Bar none. And I have had the privilege of seeing rap, I've had the privilege of seeing American hip hop, etc., etc. We are, without a doubt, the most authentic and the most original creators of both the sound and the dance that goes with it. It is absolutely unbelievable. And what we need to be doing is engineering that to the extent that it becomes a global phenomenon. I know we're doing it in little pockets here and there, and Black Coffee has done a bit to make that happen, but it really needs to be engineered in such a way that it is done in a manner that becomes a global phenomenon. So what I failed to do yesterday was to tell you a little bit about me. It's been a while since I've used technology like this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you a little bit of our website, but what I failed to do was tell you a little bit about me. Young boy, 6 years old, born to a young mom at the time. She was about 21, 22. Had a beautiful relationship with a married man who had 5 children already, and I was born. I'm told it was a love relationship. And I was born outside of South Africa in a camp that was first set up by the African National Congress in Morogoro, when the first group of exiles left this country. I was the first child to be born in that camp. So I'm remembered for that for many years. My mother, who was the first black woman to be, or the first woman to be conscripted into the African National Congress's military wing, Kwantu Sizwe, couldn't raise me. But what was funny is that there's a parallel universe happening. At the same time that is happening, I'm being born in this far forgotten place called Morogoro in Tanzania. A white Scottish missionary leaves a place called Edinburgh in Scotland and decides, because he's become a doctor, to travel all the way to South Africa to work at Baragwanath, where he happens upon a beautiful lady who is in there for some treatment because her arm something's happened to her arm. And they fall in love. This young, beautiful woman is from Soweto, Orlando, and that relationship is illegal. But nevertheless, they pursue it. But in the process of pursuing it, she also becomes ingrained in the African National Congress. And one day when she's walking down the street, she's chucked into the back of a van and taken to John Foster, where she spends 2 years detained. But at the time, that white Scottish gentleman has no idea what's happened to her. She just disappeared off the face of the earth. He then decides to leave because he's now become politically involved. He goes to Zambia. And whereas in Zambia, a year later, he's literally walking down the street, and who does he bump into? That beautiful young lady. They're so in awe of each other, they get married immediately. At the same time, my mother, who has borne me, decides to leave the camp in Morogoro as the ANC traipsed to Lusaka, which is where? In Zambia. They have a friendship. My biological mother, my biological father, this white Scottish man and beautiful South African woman who's got married. And in that friendship, I'm looked after by this white father and Scottish father, because my mother is all over the place because of being in MK. And eventually, the ANC has to leave Mozambique, Lusaka, to go to Mozambique. Biological mother is nowhere to be seen. My biological father signs adoption certificates to my white father and my black mother, who then become my adopted parents, and I am whisked to Scotland at the age of 6. And that's my beginning of my story. And that story takes me through a journey of an experience in life that has been both beautiful and painful. As an adopted child who at 6 didn't understand what happened, it was tough for a very long time. But then we moved country to country to country. I grew up in Scotland, in Dundee, in Edinburgh, in the UK, in England. I grew up in Mozambique. I grew up in Swaziland. I grew up in Zimbabwe. And it's been a journey of love, but also a journey of pain, but also a massive journey of revelation. I told you yesterday about revelation. And one of the things that I had to reside within me, as you so beautifully put it in your poem about the young lady who is raped, I had to understand what trauma was and deal with trauma in a completely different way. Because when I asked God, where was he? He says, I've been with you all the time. In your most difficult and dark times, I've been with you. I've been with you as we progressed. I've been with you as we built. So as you progress in this wonderful university where you are technologically driven but also creatively developed, it is about how you take what you have in your life's experiences and readjust that to become the fuel that drives your engine. Here's the thing I wrote down the other day. Can I just quickly, where's my bag? Actually, it was not even the other day. Most of it I wrote down last night. I have these moments, and I'm going to share